Now that we all know who Monet Davis is, I'd be doing a disservice if we didn't talk about who came before. Because historically, women and girls don't just get to play sports. Someone had to come first and fight for the right to play the sport, which is just a concept I don't think any boys or men can really understand. Maria Pepe came first. She grew up playing sports in the neighborhood with her friends, most of which were boys. When Maria was 11 years old, she went and tried out for the Hoboken Young Democrats Little League team. Everyone trying out were the kids, the neighborhood boys that were her friends. None of it felt any different than how they've played their whole lives. She made the team, and the coach decided that she would pitch the first game. She actually started every game, and by her third game, she could tell that there was like a buzz happening on the sideline. The parents. Obviously, it wasn't that she wasn't keeping up. She was starting. It literally came down to the fact that boys didn't like that they were getting struck out. They were getting beat by a girl. And so even though there were plenty of leagues that allowed girls to play, it was kind of left up to the general manager, but the overall rule was that girls were not allowed in Little League. So if someone made a stink about it, the rule they're going to fall back on is that girls can't be in the league. So the Hoboken Young Democrats Little League team was threatened that their charter would be taken away if they allowed her to stay on the team. They didn't kick her off. They didn't have to. She understood that if the charter was taken away, it jeopardizes all of the kids being able to play. So she stepped away. Maria is quoted saying, "I know I can play, and I don't understand why I'm not allowed to play. There were no athletics in my town for me to run to. My performance was never the question. It was the fact that I was a girl. It was a bigger question, should girls play baseball?" Plot twist. Now, National Organization for Women reached out to Maria's family to see if they would be okay if they filed a lawsuit on behalf of Maria. The Division of Civil Rights ruled that Little League had to accept girls. The league, the organization that is Little League, appealed the rule, so it went to the Supreme Court in the state. The Supreme Court ended up upholding the ruling of the Division of the Civil Rights, meaning girls were allowed to play in Little League, but it had dragged out so long. At this time, it was 1974. Maria was 13 years old and no longer eligible to play. In women's and girls' sports, somebody always comes first. Somebody doesn't get to play, but makes it possible for others to play. So Little League, the organization, and Maria have mended their relationship. They have honored her appropriately. Even eventually got to meet Dr. Crichton Hall, who was the president of Little League when they were petitioning, appealing that girls could join the league. This was the guy fighting against her. When they met, they shook hands, and he said, "I just want you to know that my granddaughter plays."